There are an awful lot of things with stripes that I don't like. I'm not fond of prisoners, zebras haven't done anything for me lately, and I could never ever find Waldo. Plus, hornets make me scream like a girl. But when I was a kid, there was one thing with stripes that I lusted after, the Dodge Viper GTS. My parents know everything about this car because I pretty much never shut up about it. Mom and Dad know all about the Viper's big, primitive 8-liter pushrod V10 and how it makes 450 all-American ponies to provide acceleration that crushed basically anything in its day. And with more than a meter of rubber touching the road, they know all about how it outhandled virtually any competitor too. I was always most excited by some combination of the curvy vent-covered body, the specs, and the fact that this supercar was made by the same company who built the minivan I learned to drive on. Many years later, I searched out a used Viper and finally bought one. And though my job is reviewing the latest and greatest cars, I'd never driven a Viper until I picked this one up. My producer asked me to review my new ride. It's not a nice car to drive. The killer looks mean compromised to the shape of the door opening, so it's hard to get in and out. The exhaust is routed through the door sills, which can burn you if you're not careful. Parking is a chore, the hood is too long, and you can't see out the back. And if anyone's honking at you to stop reversing, you won't hear them over the exhaust. There's minimal storage, no cup holder. Fit and finish are, well, not great either. The Viper is relatively roomy once you're settled in, and the highway ride is surprisingly comfortable, though the engine heat trying to melt your footwear through the firewall gets a bit old. It's not a car for the faint of heart, meaning that only manly tough guys of the highest magnitude tend to drive them.
So by any measure related to practicality or sensibility, the Viper's actually pretty awful. It's hard to get in and out of, there's no room for your stuff. It's hot, very noisy, somewhat uncomfortable, and the gas mileage is staggeringly bad. Of course, none of that matters though, because well, when it comes to cool factor and looks and performance and just that two middle fingers in the air Dodge attitude that made this car famous, I'm still saying it's the coolest car that I've ever driven.
Usually I talk about features at this point. There are power windows and air conditioning. More importantly, this lead sled gets nearly 500 pounds of torque sent out back by the Tremec 6-speed box. The engine isn't much for revving, but threatens to break the tires loose at any poke of the throttle. Forget class or refinement, but the big power numbers and very tall gears turn an endless, face-peeling acceleration accompanied by an exhaust note like an offshore speedboat make Prius owners cry. The sound makes me wish I had more ears and more gas money. You'll do 24 liters per 100 kilometers in the city if you're having any fun with it. Thankfully, there's a heavy-duty hinge on the gas door. While taking my pet snake around a road course to stretch its legs, the gas bill was worth every penny. There's little precision, grace, or meticulousness, nor is there much feel to most of the controls. You've got to be careful with the throttle if you want to stay off the lawn, but the performance is all there in a grab-it-by-the-scruff sort of way. The acceleration is pure bananas, the exhaust note never gets old, the brakes are powerful and durable, although lacking anti-lock, and the handling grip is immense. So in its own Neanderthal sort of way, this is a very serious performance car and not much else. So it's not for everyone. It's as impractical as it is gorgeous, as obnoxious as it is attention-grabbing, and as compromised as it is fast. It's not big on practicality, refinement, or being easy to drive, but it makes great sounds, delivers massive performance numbers, and looks amazing doing it. Even over a decade later, the original Viper GTS will still attract a drooling crowd wherever it goes. This is an exhausting car to drive in many ways, and that's a small price to pay for one of the most instantly recognizable examples of four-wheeled American badass ever built. Thanks for watching.